Good morning. Today I'm going to walk you through how I implement a sales funnel automation for accounting and law firms that save them 100 plus hours a year and also increases their existing sales conversion. As a caveat for this automation, it's more focused on operational improvement. If you're here looking for AI lead gen, trust me, I've been there, done that with AI chatbots and also AI lead agents. I think that with how fast AI is moving, any AI marketing tactic that you implement now is probably going to change in the next 6 to 12 months. So that's why I think it's a lot more impactful to implement something like an automation, which will stay for as long as you have that existing workflow. Starting very high level, I'm going to walk you through what this workflow does, and then we'll go into the actual build, how you can build it so you can implement it in your business as well. So starting with the lead intake, if you are an accounting firm or any online service provider, especially an accounting firm or law firm, you probably have some sort of web form on your website. So we take these web forms and we're a lot more purposeful with how we craft these questions because any answer that the lead gives you can be used for your automation. So after we capture the responses and we deliver them into the database, this is not only for backup, we also like to do this to modularize all the data that comes in from these leads. So at any point, if you're trying to, let's say, do a KPI analysis, it becomes a lot more easy to extract the relevant information. Now, what makes this automation so powerful is that it can filter the client information and also qualify them for your different services. Or we could also go multiple layers deeper. For today's example, I'm going to walk you through a business tax service, and you'll see that how depending on the lead's monthly revenue, they're going to get a unique and customized response. So that's the next part of this workflow. Depending on how you want to filter, how you want to qualify your clients, you can give them unique responses while also including the relevant files and documentation with a call to action. So these files could be, let's say, relevant tax plans, pricing sheets, or also maybe you want to just share an example of how you saved a similar client a lot of money. That would be something that's useful for your lead, and that's something that you can include in this email that you send them. For call to actions, one of the big things that make or break whether a lead will work with a firm is their communication and the communication timing. So if a lead is able to work late at night and fill out this form at their time when they're having some availability, if they don't have to wait till the next morning or the next couple of days for your team to get back to you, when they're actually able to move forward in the process, more than likely they're going to continue with your services. Now for the back end, for your internal team, all this information is being captured in your CRM. So now it becomes a lot easier to manage your leads because it's more than just name and email. You can also get all the relevant information that you want to see with these leads submitted in your CRM. This light gray circles over here, we also have some systems in place to minimize lost clients. One thing that we have is an automatic follow-up system. After a lead has already interacted and filled out a form and they haven't replied to you, we'll touch base with them automatically. Another safety net that we have is a newsletter conversion. So from the CRM, any clients that are not converted will go to a newsletter subscription. And if you send bi-weekly or quarterly updates regarding your business, this is some relevant information that these unconverted clients would see. Now, lastly, we have this area in green. Depending on what you're looking to get out of from your automation, you can implement this or not. We found that this is very helpful for our clients. For example, implementing some type of KPI dashboard that gets automatically updated with this information that comes through. We could also see things such as customer acquisition cost, lead sources, and then the close rates, obviously, of your leads. Now, for this particular example in this video, we're actually only going to be going through this portion right here. So it's going to be the client-facing side from the lead intake all the way to the CRM update. Jumping into Make.com, if you're not familiar with Make, it's basically a low-code software that helps in automating processes by making it very simple to transfer information among different apps. So let me first show you what this sales funnel end result is. For the video example, I set up a very simple Google Doc form. You can see the first name, company email, and then also the revenue, which is what we're going to be using to qualify the lead, and also some other questions. So what we're going to do is run this automation and then fill out I click the third option here. So we'll say no debt. So as the data comes through, it's going to first come into this webhook, and then it's going to go down this path here. Looks like we had some issue with the Monday CRM, but we'll talk about that later. The reason I went to this upper path here is that we filtered it so that anything where the response is between $40,000 and $80,000 is going to go up this path. And I'll get into how we created this, but first I want to show you the email. So this is the email that the client would receive. This is just some random information that I filled in. Thank you for answering our questionnaire. Based on your monthly revenue, you're most suited for our Gold tax service. Please see below video for additional information. This is a random video that I put in. It could also be a picture, or you could just leave it blank if you want to keep it simple. I also went and attached our tax plan and pricing sheet. This is from the Google Drive part of our workflow. And then for clients of your revenue, we typically save them around 100K. If you want to move forward, this is the call to action. If you want to move forward, you can also submit this document request list in our secure portal in my signature below. So this is typically what we would ask them was the P&L, balance sheet, and then in our signature, we would also include headshots to make it seem less like an automation if that's something that you want. And then we also have this portal link where they can submit these document requests. And then the last thing is also they have these attachments that were in our Google Drive that we're downloading and then sending it to our Gmail. Now that you know how the client side of it works, let's go into the actual building of this workflow. The first step is to set up a webhook. So if you add a module here, webhook, we'll click add. You can name it whatever you want, press save. And then this is the link that you're going to be using to connect to your web form software. So if it's Jotform, Typeform, whatever it is, you're going to be using this link to connect it to that. You can just look up on Google like Jotform webhook connection, and then it should be able to walk you through it. It's quite simple, and it shouldn't take too long at all. So once that is connected, we're going to set up a router so we can branch out to different paths. We already set up the first path, which is if they're within the range of making 40 to 80K a month, they're going to go upwards here and receive this particular email. Let's set up a second one here. Let's say under 20,000. So when you click in this box, you'll see a bunch of variables that come through. This is all the information that came in through the webhook. We're going to be looking at this variable here because this is the question that got the revenue amount. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to do less than, let's do 1,000. One thing to note is you want to make sure that this is going to be the same as whatever answer choice was in your actual web form. The reason for that is that we clicked the equal to text operator. There's a bunch of different options, in the case insensitive, to make it a little safer. Point is, we want to make it so that it filters properly. Let's set up this Google Drive functionality. What this does is downloads the tax plans and the pricing sheets or whatever attachments and PDFs you have that's housed in your Google Drive. We're going to download them and then attach them to the email. So first, let's set up the Google Drive. We're going to search for files. So once you choose the folder, you're going to hit retrieve files. And then we're going to do the same thing, but instead of searching for files, we're going to download them into this workflow. So from here, file ID, I'm going to go file ID here. You can see that this number 47 is referring to this module here, 47. The last step is an array aggregator. Our source module is going to be the first one, which is 47. And we could actually leave this blank for now, and then also connect the Gmail. We're going to do send an email. Now that we connected to the email, we can go back to our array aggregator. Oh, not yet. Let's send this first. Let's set this Gmail up first. We have the email address over here. Subject line, we can do whatever, hi. And then this is, the content is actually the body of the email. This is a combination of text and inline HTML. I'll show you the previous example. We'll do hello, first name, comma. We'll leave it at that. And then let's see if we can do this. Before that, I think we have to go attachments, file name, there you go. So we're bringing whatever we downloaded, we're going to bring it into this attachment section here. We're going to hit OK. Sorry, file name, also data. Let's do that. So we can name it whatever we want. Let's say, we'll leave it at array so that the name of the files will be the name that's seen on the Gmail as well. Now we go here, attachments, and then it links automatically. Should be fine. And then that's pretty much how you would set up the client-facing side of this automation. They get this email, and then all you need to do now is set up the CRM. But before we get into that, let's talk about this Gmail, how we set it up. Like I said, it's a combination of text and inline HTML. If you're not familiar with this, I would recommend just typing what you want into ChatGPT, having it spit out inline HTML, and then just go from there. It should be pretty simple. Now for our CRM, I'm having issues with the connection, but what you would do is put in the first name, last name. These are the variables that we've been mapping this whole time. And then whatever columns you want. Let's say you want their email, we put the company email, monthly revenue as well. If you want to add another item, we can add whatever. If you don't use monday.com, it's going to be a very similar process to whatever CRM you use. But for this particular example, you could also do into Google Sheets, add row. And then it's basically the same thing. You would connect to your spreadsheet, and then it'll give you a table, and you just map those variables again. So that's pretty much it for this automation. This stops at the CRM level. As you can see from these routers, this can get as complex as you want, right? Hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or if you'd like to see how I set up other parts of that full sales funnel automation, like the automatic follow-ups.